Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. We're setting the dial on the time machine to January 2026.
Just a slight hop into the future, or I guess a look back at last month, effectively.
Exactly. We're looking at this very specific moment in time, specifically the fallout from CES 2026 and this whole stack of industry reports that came out right alongside it.
And CES is always a circus.
It is. And look, usually when we talk about CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas, it's all about the gadgets, the singing lollipops, the laundry folding robots.
Which, to be fair, the laundry robot is the dream. I think we can all agree on that.
It is absolutely the dream. But we aren't here for the gadgets today. We aren't here for the circus. We've combed through all the PBS news coverage, the technical papers for the Technology Innovation Institute, and the financial reports on this company called Lovable.
And we're filtering it all.
We're filtering all of this through one very, very specific lens.
The faceless content creator.
Right. Because if you just look at the headlines from January 2026, they feel so disconnected. You've got Lionsgate executives talking about YouTube. You've got these Swedish startups automating code. You've got Mamba architecture and AI models.
They seem like totally separate worlds.
But when you stack them all up, they tell a single story. A story about the future of the one-person media business.
It's the story of a transition, really. I think we're moving from the content creator era to what you could call the sovereign studio era.
Sovereign studio? I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
So the mission today is to break down this stack from Hollywood legitimacy all the way to the technical back end and figure out how a creator, who maybe doesn't even show their face, uses all this to build an empire.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so we have to start with the culture shift. January 7th, 2026, Las Vegas. The PBS reports noted there were over 25 panels dedicated strictly to entertainment and AI. But that feels high, right?
It is very high. I mean, historically, CES is a hardware show. It's about TVs, smart fridges, that kind of thing. But 2026 was the year the software ate the hardware. And the biggest talking point, by far, was the relationship between the old guard, Hollywood, and the new guard, the creators.
Yeah, I was reading the notes on Brad Haugen. He's the executive VP at Lionsgate. Now, usually when a studio exec starts talking about creators, what they really mean is marketing.
Right. Influencer marketing.
It's like, hey, let's pay this TikToker to hold a Coke can in their video.
Exactly. But that's not what Haugen was saying at all. His quote was fascinating. He said traditional media needs to embrace creators because they are, and I'm quoting here, the next Spike Jonze and the next Sofia Coppola.
Okay, hold on. Spike Jonze, Sofia Coppola. These are, they're auteurs. They defined a whole generation of cinema.
They are.
Comparing a faceless YouTuber who narrates Reddit stories to Sofia Coppola seems generous. Yeah. Is he just pandering to the crowd?
I don't think so. I really don't. Look at it from a risk perspective. If Lionsgate wants to launch a new sci-fi franchise today, what does that cost them? $200 million.
Easy. Plus marketing. Another $100 million, probably.
It's a massive, massive gamble. But a faceless creator running a sci-fi narration channel, they are testing out IP intellectual property every single week. They have audience data. They have retention charts, comment sentiment analysis. Haugen is realizing that these creators aren't just shells. They are incubators for new ideas.
So the creator is essentially a zero-cost R&D lab for the studio.
Precisely. And for the faceless creator, this just completely changes the ceiling on what's possible. You aren't just trying to get some AdSense revenue anymore. You are building a story universe that a major studio might want to license. You're basically a showrunner who hasn't been hired yet.
That makes so much sense. And it really aligns with what Zhuang Ko from Leonardo.ai was saying on his panel. He talked about flattening the bar.
Flattening the bar is the perfect phrase for it. Leonardo.ai, for context, is a visual generation platform.
An AI art generator.
A very advanced one, yes. And Ko's argument is that previously, your creative taste was always limited by your budget. You might have this vision for a Dune-style epic, but your wallet says 2 guys in a basement.
The budget always wins. It always does.
Until now. Generative AI decouples the cost of production from the quality of production. For a faceless channel which relies so heavily on stock footage, animation, B-roll, this is the golden ticket.
So you can generate assets that look like they cost $1 million.
For the cost of a monthly subscription, yeah.
But, okay, we have to address the elephant in the room here. Or I guess the synthetic human in the room. The notes mention Tilly Norwood.
Yes, Tilly. The controversy.
For listeners who might have missed this, Tilly Norwood was the first entirely AI-made character to debut as an actor in late 2025. And by January 2026, people were not happy.
Not happy is putting it mildly. There was a significant backlash. It touched on all the raw nerves: copyright, the displacement of human actors, the uncanny valley. It's this deep fear that the human element is being erased from art.
It feels like a valid fear, though. I mean, if you can generate a perfect actor, why hire a real one?
It is valid, of course it is. But Hannah Elsacker from Adobe, she brought up this great historical counterpoint during her panel. She referenced the launch of Photoshop back in the 1990s.
The Photoshop panic.
Exactly. When digital editing first arrived, the purists were screaming that it was destroying the craft of photography. They said it was cheating.
And now, every single professional uses it. It's just a tool.
It's just a tool. And Elsacker's point is that we are in the panic phase of the cycle right now with AI. But for the creator, the takeaway isn't replace humans.
Yeah.
It's augment your toolkit.
She had that funny line, right? Something like, I'm not advocating for more cats jumping off diving boards.
Right. We have enough AI slop. The goal is intentionality. The tools are here to stay, and the winners will be the ones who use them to tell better stories, not just cheaper ones.
Okay, so that's the cultural permission structure. Hollywood is watching, the tools are ready, but you still need to build a business. And this brings us to the second part, and honestly the most confusing part of the research for me, vibe coding.
It sounds like a meme, doesn't it?
It sounds like something a Gen Z intern made up in a marketing meeting. But then I looked at the numbers for this company, Lovable.
The numbers are staggering. In January 2026, Lovable had a valuation of $6.6 billion. But that's not the metric that matters. The one that matters is ARR, annual recurring revenue.
Right.
They went from $1 million to $200 million in ARR in 1 year.
That's a vertical line on a chart. That's not growth. That's an explosion. What exactly are they selling?
They are selling the end of needing a technical co-founder.
Okay, explain that. What does that mean?
Okay, let's imagine you are that faceless creator in the personal finance niche. You make videos about the snowball method for paying off debt.
Got it. Standard content.
Very standard content. Your business model is pretty simple. Make video, get views, get ad money. Maybe you sell a little PDF worksheet for $10.
Right. That's the playbook.
With Lovable, you can do what they call vibe coding. You go to their platform and you just type, in plain English, I want a debt payoff calculator app. It should feel like a calming spa, use blue and white colors, and allow users to export their plan to a calendar.
Wait, I just typed that in, just like I'm talking to a person.
Plain English. You describe the functionality and the vibe. The AI then writes the code, compiles it, and deploys it as a fully functional web app.
So I don't need to know Python. I don't need to go hire a dev agency for $50,000.
Not anymore. And Anton Osika, the CEO, put it very bluntly. Everyone can be a developer. This allows the content creator to pivot from a service business, which is making videos, to a SaaS business, software as a service.
Wow, that is a massive shift. So instead of selling a PDF one time, I'm selling a monthly subscription to a proprietary tool I built in an afternoon.
Exactly. It completely diversifies your revenue. You own the platform. You aren't just renting an audience from YouTube anymore.
I mean, we've seen no-code tools before, right? But they were always a bit clunky. You'd hit a ceiling where you eventually needed a real coder to come in and fix things.
Right, the bubble problem. You could build something simple, but not something robust.
Yeah.
Vibe coding suggests the AI understands the architecture well enough to build enterprise-grade software from the jump. It's not just you dragging and dropping blocks on a screen, it's generating the actual clean code base.
So if I'm a creator, I need to stop thinking, what video do I make next? And start thinking, what tool does my audience actually need?
Exactly. You solve their problem with software, not just with information.
But here's the snag.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm building apps and I'm analyzing my own data and I'm generating huge amounts of content, I'm using these big AI models. And we all know the big models, ChatGPT, Gemini, they run in the cloud.
Right, on their server.
And if I'm a faceless creator, privacy is like my #1 thing. I don't want to upload my unreleased scripts, my financial data, or my new app ideas to a public server where it might be used for training.
And that is the perfect segue to the third major breakthrough of January 2026, the rise of the small language model, or SLM, and specifically a model called Falcon H1R.
Falcon H1R. It definitely sounds like a fighter jet.
It might as well be. It's a model from the Technology Innovation Institute, and the headline specs are just fascinating. It only has 7 billion parameters.
Okay, for the non-technical listener, give us a sense of scale. Is 7 billion a lot?
In 2026, no, it's tiny, absolutely tiny. The frontier models have trillions of parameters. A 7 billion parameter model is like a motorcycle compared to a freight train.
So it's small.
But Falcon H1R is special because of its architecture. It's a Transformer Mamba hybrid.
Okay, Transformer Mamba. I feel like I need a PhD just to unpack that. Can we do the explain like I'm 5 version of this?
Let's try. So, most modern AI, like GPT, is based on the transformer architecture. Think of a transformer like a reader who has to read an entire book all at once. It looks at every single word and how it relates to every other word simultaneously.
Okay, so that makes it really smart, but heavy. It sounds resource intensive.
Extremely heavy. It requires a massive amount of memory. The longer the book, the slower it gets. It uses a ton of compute power just to keep track of all that context.
Got it. Thorough, but slow and expensive.
Now, Mamba is different. It's based on something called state space models. Think of Mamba as a reader who reads line by line. It reads a sentence, remembers the important context, throws away the fluff, and moves to the next sentence.
So it doesn't need to hold the whole book open at once.
Exactly. It's linear. It's incredibly fast and memory efficient.
So Falcon combines them. It takes the best of both.
Precisely. It uses the deep reasoning of the transformer for the hard stuff, complex logic, nuanced language, and it uses the speed and efficiency of Mamba for the easy stuff. The result is a model that punches way above its weight class. It beats models twice its size in coding and math benchmarks.
That's impressive. But the real kicker is where it runs, right? That's the game changer.
That's it. Because it's so efficient, it can run on the edge. That means it runs on your laptop.
Local.
No cloud, no API fees, no data ever leaving your room.
So for our sovereign creator, this is the brain of the operation. You can have Falcon H1R running on your MacBook, reading your private sponsorship contracts, analyzing your channel revenue, organizing your script ideas, and absolutely zero of that data ever goes to Big Tech.
It is the ultimate privacy tool, and it features something else they call DeepConf. Deep think with confidence.
What is that?
It essentially fact-checks itself before it gives you an answer. It has an internal mechanism to filter out bad reasoning paths, so it's not just private, it's less prone to hallucination.
Which is huge.
For a business owner, accuracy is everything. You do not want your AI hallucinating a tax deduction for you.
No, the IRS generally frowns on that.
Yeah.
So let's just review the stack we've built so far. We have the content legitimacy from Hollywood. We have the product capability from Lovable. We have the private local brain from Falcon. But I'm still just one person.
You are.
I still have to answer the emails. I still have to negotiate with sponsors. I still have to post the videos and moderate the comments. I'm tired just thinking about it.
And that is where the final crucial piece of the January 2026 puzzle fits in, the shift from the chatbot to agentic AI.
Agentic. This was the buzzword of the month, everywhere.
It really was, and the distinction is so vital. A chatbot like the ones we all use in 2024 is basically a consultant. You ask it, how do I write a sponsorship contract? It gives you a template.
Right.
You still have to do all the work. You have to write it, send it, get it signed.
It's passive. It waits for me to prompt it.
An agent is an employee. You say, here's the brand deal. Go negotiate it for me based on these parameters. The agent then goes out, emails the brand, reads their reply, formulates a counteroffer based on your rules, and it only pings you when the contract is ready for you to sign.
That sounds a little risky. I mean, giving an AI the keys to my email inbox.
It requires trust, for sure. But look at the Danfoss case study from the report. Danfoss is this massive manufacturing giant. They deployed AI agents to handle their B2B transactions. They automated 80% of the decision-making process.
80%.
80%. And they cut the response times from 42 hours down to instant. Now apply that same logic to a creator. The number one cause of creator burnout isn't making videos, it's the admin bloat.
The boring stuff.
It's the merch logistics, the comment moderation, the endless back and forth with brand deals, all the boring stuff. Agentic AI is projected to be a $200 billion market by 2034 because it solves the boring stuff.
So for a faceless creator, this means you can scale like a corporation without having to hire a single human employee.
You create a swarm of agents. You have one agent for comments, one for sales emails, one for research.
It's like cloning yourself, but you only clone the parts of you that actually like doing paperwork.
Which is the best kind of clone, right? As Anil Jain from Google Cloud said, 2026 will be the year AI agents fundamentally reshape business. He wasn't exaggerating.
So practically speaking, if I'm running a channel, I could literally have an agent that just monitors my inbox for sponsorship offers.
Yes.
It checks if the brand aligns with my values. It checks if the financial offer meets my minimum rate. If everything looks good, it replies to start the conversation. If it doesn't, it politely declines.
Exactly. And you sleep through the whole thing. You wake up in the morning to a calendar of qualified, pre-vetted leads. That is how a one-person business competes with a full-blown media company.
Okay, so the business backend is automated. But we can't ignore the actual production. We
Yeah.
are still making videos, after all. And NVIDIA had some pretty big announcements at CES, too.
NVIDIA is always the heavyweight in the room. They launched a few new tools, but for our audience, I think Nematron Speech ASR is the big one.
And ASR stands for Automatic Speech Recognition.
Correct. It's an open source model that is 10 times faster than the previous generation of systems.
10 times faster. So why does speed matter that much for captions? I mean, accuracy is key, obviously, but why speed?
It completely changes the workflow. If you're doing a live stream or you need to pump out 5 shorts a day to write a trending topic, waiting 20 minutes for your captions to render is a huge bottleneck.
Yeah, that's true.
Nematron makes it instant. But more importantly, it enables real-time interaction between the AI and the audience.
So the AI could hear the stream as it's happening and generate responses or on-screen graphics on the fly.
That's the idea. It just reduces the latency between idea and published content down to almost zero.
And then there was Alpamayo. This one confused me a bit because the report says it's for self-driving cars. Mercedes is using it. What does that have to do with creators?
It is for cars, primarily. But you have to look at the underlying technology. It uses vision language action models, and it uses chain of thought reasoning on video.
Okay, break that down. What is chain of thought reasoning?
It's the ability for the AI to reason step by step. So in a car, the AI sees a ball roll into the street. It doesn't just see ball, it thinks. Step 1, I see a ball. Step 2, a ball often implies a child is nearby. Step 3, a child might run into the street. Conclusion, I should brake. It understands the narrative of the scene.
Okay, I get it.
Now apply that to video editing software. Right now, AI editors just cut based on silence or basic scene changes. They don't understand the story. But an Alpamayo style model could understand this is the punchline of the joke or this is the dramatic reveal.
So I could tell my editor, cut together a trailer that focuses on the tension between these two characters, and it would actually understand what tension looks like visually.
Exactly. It understands context, not just pixels. That is the future of creative tools. It moves editing from a manual, tedious task to a directorial one.
Speaking of finding content, there was one more little update that caught my eye from Amazon on Alexa.com.
This is a huge sleeper story. A lot of people miss this one. Amazon rolled out a new web experience where Alexa can jump to a specific scene in a movie or TV show based purely on a description from the user.
So I don't need to know the episode title or the timestamp. I can just say, show me the scene in that show, or the guy drops the cake.
Right. Now think about that for a creator. It changes search engine optimization SEO completely. You aren't just optimizing for keywords in a title anymore. You are optimizing your actual content so that an AI can watch it and understand the scenes happening inside it.
Wow. It makes the content itself searchable, not just the metadata around it.
It forces creators to think about the clarity of their storytelling. Can an AI understand what is happening in your video well enough to serve it to a user who is looking for that exact moment? If your video is a visual mess, the AI can't index it. It gets lost.
That is a fascinating shift. It actually encourages better, clearer storytelling. Okay, we've covered 4 or 5 massive paradigm shifts here in, what, half an hour? And I want to pause because I feel like it's a lot.
It is absolutely overwhelming.
And I keep thinking about why we use advice in the notes. We saw there's an AI apps directory out there with over 1,000 new tools listed just recently.
1,000 shiny new objects.
Exactly. And it's so easy to get shiny object syndrome. You end up spending all day signing up for free trials and you never actually make anything.
It's the biggest trap for creators right now. And Hugh's advice is so critical here. Pick a home base.
What does that look like in practice?
It means you choose one primary tool that you absolutely master. Maybe it's your video generator. You learn every single shortcut, every prompt nuance. You have one backup tool just in case that one goes down. And you ignore the rest.
You just ignore them. The other 998 tools.
You ignore them until you have a very specific problem that your home base can't solve. If you spend all day configuring your agents and testing new models, you aren't creating, You're just a technician.
Be a creator, not a configurer.
That's it. The goal is output. The goal is the business. The tools have to serve the business, not the other way around.
I want to wrap up with a sort of a philosophical question.
Yeah.
We've built this whole stack. The AI handles the business. Those are the agents. The AI builds the product. That's Lovable. The AI optimizes the logic. That's Falcon. And the AI generates the visual assets. That's Leonardo.
Right. The stack is complete. The machine is running.
So if the machine does the logic, the logistics, the coding, and the visuals, what is left for the human? What is the job description of the faceless creator in 2026?
It's a profound question, and I think the answer is you become the tastemaker.
The tastemaker.
Think about it. AI can generate infinite noise. It can write 1 million scripts. It can code 1,000 apps. But it cannot tell you which one is cool. It cannot tell you which story matters.
It has no lived experience.
It has no heartbreak, no joy, no intuition. It has no soul.
It has no taste.
It has no taste. The role of the human shifts from laborer, moving the mouse, typing the code, to ultimate editor. You are the curator. You are the final filter that separates the signal from all that noise.
I love that. So we aren't being replaced, we're being promoted. Promoted to director.
Exactly. The machine is the engine. You are the steering wheel.
That's a really hopeful place to leave it to our listeners. The stack is there.
Yeah.
The tools are ready. But don't try to do it all at once. Pick one thing we talked about today. Maybe go try vibe coding on Lovable. Or download Falcon if you're techie and just start building.
And remember, don't let the singing lollipops distract you. Focus on the utility.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.